The great Stoic philosopher Epicurus once said, "Associate with those who elevate you, individuals whose presence draws out your finest quality." You've probably heard the saying, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Well, today we're going to explore that idea through a Stoic lens. We will discuss the 10 types of people who can derail your progress in Stoic philosophy and why it's crucial to reconsider your friendships with them. Before we dive in, I would appreciate it if you would like the video to help me continue spreading Stoic philosophy. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now, let's delve into the 10 types of people you need to avoid on your Stoic journey. Our first type is the complainer. Lesson 1. The complainer, we all have that friend, family member, or co-worker who seems to find fault in everything. Whether it's the weather, their job, or even the food at a popular restaurant, they never miss an opportunity to express their dissatisfaction. Now, you might wonder, why should this concern me? I can just ignore them. Well, that's easier said than done. Consistent exposure to such negativity has a draining effect on your mental well-being. It's akin to a leaky faucet slowly depleting your reservoir of emotional energy. Stoicism teaches us to focus on actionable solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Imagine you're collaborating on an important project with someone who is a perpetual complainer. Each meeting turns into an exhausting session of complaint without any constructive dialogue. The impact on the team's morale declines, and you're sidetracked from finding actionable solutions. From a Stoic philosophy perspective, you can apply some principles to deal with this situation. First, focus on what you can control. You cannot control the complainer's thoughts or actions, but you can control your own reactions and thoughts. Concentrate on improving your own work performance instead of letting the situation deteriorate because of the complainer. Next, challenge negative thoughts. The complainer's negative thoughts may not reflect reality or may not be significant. Challenge those thoughts and try to look at the positive aspects of the project. Finally, create a positive environment. By embodying Stoic thinking and a positive attitude, you can influence the work group and help create a more encouraging work environment. Remember that Stoic philosophy is not about changing others, but about managing and reacting to the situations around you. In this case, it helps you maintain a positive attitude and focus on solutions rather than getting caught up in someone else's negativity. How does Stoicism help us deal with a complainer? There are several strategies you can employ. First, limit your exposure to this individual whenever you can. If that's not possible, perhaps because they're a family member or colleague, then your second option is to mentally distance yourself during their diatribe. Think of their complaints as a passing storm, loud and unsettling, but ultimately temporary and powerless against the unmovable mountain that is your own inner tranquility. Your third option is to steer the conversation towards solutions or to change the subject to something more constructive. To quote Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless Stoic wisdom encourages us to guard our mental peace diligently, ensuring that the negativity from chronic complainers doesn't deviate us from our inner path of resilience and virtue. Now, let's move on to our second lesson, the trauma magnet. Lesson 2, the trauma magnet. Picture your life as if it were a ship sailing through calm waters. But then, you encounter the whirlpool known as the drama magnet. This individual seems to have an unending series of crises, conflicts, or controversies. Like a whirlpool, they have an unsettling ability to suck you into their vortex of chaos. You might initially find yourself attracted to the drama magnet's energy, mistaking it for passion or excitement. However, you'll soon realize that being in their sphere is like navigating a ship through a storm, exhausting and dangerous. What makes dealing with trauma from obstructive individuals challenging is that their urgent situations often make you feel as if they're your own. Their chaos can spread, and you may even find yourself drawn into conflicts that you initially had no part in. Consider a specific example. You have a friend who frequently gets into conflicts with others in your social circle. Let's imagine you have a friend named Sarah. Recently, Sarah engaged in a heated debate about some issue within the group. The argument escalated into a serious conflict between Sarah and several others in the group. Sarah appeared very angry and dissatisfied with the others in the group for not agreeing with her point of view. To apply Stoic principles and avoid being drawn into Sarah's negative emotions, you can employ a technique called reflective listening. Instead of trying to persuade Sarah or engaging in the conflict, you can reflect back what she says in a non-judgmental manner. However, if Sarah continues to maintain the conflict situation, and you feel that participating in this group is no longer in line with your mood and goals, you can also apply the final strategy mentioned in the passage, which is to become selectively unavailable. Stoicism reminds us to value our time highly, and sometimes that means being unavailable for other people's crises, especially if they're recurring without resolution. Turn off your phone during certain hours. Create focus periods where you concentrate solely on your work or personal development, and let it be known that during these times, you're not to be disturbed. To paraphrase Seneca, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This can be particularly helpful when dealing with drama magnets. Instead of anxiously wondering what crisis will happen next, concentrate on the present moment where you have control. Enjoy your life, and don't let it be disrupted by someone else's trauma. Make it a point to sail your ship calmly, steering clear of whirlpools that threaten your voyage towards personal growth and tranquility. Now, let's proceed to our third lesson, the unfavorable person. Lesson 3. The unfavorable person. Imagine you're an artist painting a canvas. Each brushstroke adds color, depth, and life to your vision. Enter the naysayer, the unfavorable person. They walk into your studio, glance at your work, and immediately begin to critique it. The unfavorable person, or naysayer, is not your standard constructive critic. Instead, they cast a persistent aura of doubt and negativity. For example, imagine you're excited about pursuing a new career path. You've done your research, talked to experts, and may have even taken some introductory courses. When you share your excitement, the naysayer quickly lists all the reasons why it might not succeed. Let's delve into a scenario. You're excited about pursuing a new career path, and you share this enthusiasm with a friend. Instead of encouragement, they respond with doubt, listing all the challenges and potential pitfalls. Soon enough, their doubts start to feel like your own, and your once confident vision begins to waver. But don't let their negative words defeat you or erode your confidence. Instead of embracing doubt and agreeing with them, take a different approach. Challenge their doubts and ask yourself questions like, why is the market so competitive? Can I improve my skills to face this challenge? If I encounter difficulties, can I learn from my mistakes and failures to become stronger? How do you deal with a naysayer, especially when they might be someone close to you? One unconventional but effective method is to ask them for advice rather than just sharing your plans or aspirations. When people are put in an advisory role, they're less likely to attack your ideas outright and may offer more constructive feedback. Another method involves flipping the script through a technique called positive confrontation. Instead of absorbing their negativity, challenge them to think of solutions. If they say, "You'll never be able to switch careers at this stage," counter with an interesting perspective. How do you think someone could successfully make a career change? Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening doesn't mean absorbing everyone's negativity. It means discerning valuable input from mere noise. When the naysayers start to cloud your canvas with their shades of doubt, take a step back. Stoic wisdom encourages the cultivation of emotional granularity, the ability to feel and differentiate between a wide range of emotions, both positive and negative. When the toxic positivist sprinkles their confetti on your carefully tended garden, take a step back. Remember that a garden needs both sunshine and rain to flourish, and embrace your full emotional spectrum. Now, let's move on to our fourth lesson, the toxic positives. Lesson 4. The toxic positivist. You know this person. The one who always exudes sunshine, rainbows, and endless streams of emojis. They're the ones telling you to just be happy when you're going through a difficult period, dismissing your feelings and experiences with a flippant wave of glittery optimism. Imagine your life as a garden. There are flowers, but there are also weeds and pests. A toxic positivist, however, insists on ignoring anything that isn't a blooming rose. Just focus on the flowers, they'd say. While it sounds uplifting, their approach can make you feel invalidated and disconnected from reality. Let's delve into a specific scenario. You're going through a difficult breakup, feeling sad, confused, and seeking emotional balance. A breakup can be one of the most challenging experiences anyone can go through in life. During such times, advice from a toxic positivist can be extremely frustrating and unreasonable. This kind of excessive positivity overlooks the complexity of human emotions and the realities of life. Life is not always filled with happiness, and sometimes we need to confront negative emotions such as sadness, grief, and disappointment. These are natural and unavoidable aspects of life, and self-condemnation for feeling these emotions only adds to the pain. How do you cultivate your garden without letting the toxic positivists trample it with their indiscriminate sprinkling of good vibes only? One strategy is to engage them in a discussion that embraces both light and shadow. Acknowledge and label your nuanced feelings. I'm feeling a bit melancholic today due to reasons, and that's okay. Keep nurturing your garden with the richness and complexity it deserves. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. It's about embracing life's complexity with equanimity. With the garden tended and emotions embraced, let's move on to our next lesson, the victim. Lesson 5. The victim. Imagine life as a game of chess, each player having the same set of chess pieces and a shared objective: to put the opponent's king in checkmate. You strategically make your moves, make sacrifices, and sometimes accept risks. However, the victim blames the chessboard, the pieces, or even their opponent for every poor move they make. The victim constantly seeks to assign blame to external factors, believing that an external force is always working against them. Their story is an endless tale of suffering, with themselves cast as the helpless protagonist. They fail to recognize that they have choices and the power to control their own destiny. While it's crucial to acknowledge that some people face genuine hardships and systemic issues, the victim we're discussing uses their predicament as a permanent excuse. They refuse to take any responsibility for their actions or lack thereof. Imagine spending countless hours listening to a friend blame their endless string of failed relationships entirely on their ex-partners. Not only does this consume your time, but it can also subtly encourage you to adopt a similar victim mindset in your own life. How do you deal with a victim, especially when they might be someone close to you? One unconventional but effective method is to ask them open-ended questions that encourage them to reflect on their situation. Instead of offering solutions or becoming their perpetual problem solver, try questions like, "What do you think you could do differently in this situation?" Another approach is to show empathy and kindness, but not try to rescue them from situations they need to navigate themselves. Offer a listening ear, but refrain from becoming their perpetual problem solver. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus: "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." If you find yourself getting sucked into the victim's narrative, resist the urge to become one yourself. Take control of your own game board. Make your moves, and remember that in the chess game of life, being perpetually in checkmate is often a choice, not a fate. Having navigated the victim's mindset, let's explore our next lesson: the time vampire. Lesson 6. The time vampire. Imagine your daily routine as a carefully crafted symphony, each instrument representing a task or commitment. When played together, they create a harmonious balance. But then, the time vampire joins in, screeching off, key, drowning out the melody, and disrupting the flow of your life's composition. Time vampires are individuals who constantly demand your time and attention, often without providing much value in return. They disrupt your focus, productivity, and peace of mind. It's essential to set clear boundaries, communicate your availability, and let them know when you're available for calls or meetings and when you need focused, uninterrupted work time. To deal with time vampires, set clear boundaries and enforce them. Communicate your availability firmly but politely and encourage them to respect your schedule as you respect theirs. Redirect their demands toward more productive or efficient communication methods, such as suggesting shorter, focused text messages or emails. Let's delve into a specific example of dealing with a friend who often makes long and indefinite phone calls. By suggesting a switch to shorter, more concise text messages or emails, you not only save time, but also create a more convenient communication environment for both parties. Changing the way you communicate brings several benefits. It allows you to have more control over your time, enables powerful and effective exchanges, and creates a more conducive environment for discussing and resolving specific issues. In Stoic philosophy, there's a focus on understanding what is within your control and what isn't. Time vampires often try to seize control of your schedule and attention, but you can assert your control by setting boundaries and managing your time intentionally. With time vampires at bay, let's move forward to our next lesson: the manipulator. Lesson 7. The manipulator. Picture your life as a movie script. You're the main character with an idea of how your story should unfold, who your allies and mentors are, and what your final act looks like. Enter the manipulator, the shadowy producer who subtly rewrites your script without you even realizing it until one day you find your storyline has veered off course. The manipulator is skilled in emotional or psychological maneuvering, using flattery, guilt trips, or deceit to steer you in a direction that benefits them. They might subtly rewrite your script to serve their agenda, leaving you blindsided to their manipulative tactics. One method to counteract their tactics is what some experts call fucking. This technique involves agreeing with any truth in the manipulator statements, but refusing to be moved by emotional coercion. Another approach is to set clear boundaries and enforce them, learning to say no assertively while maintaining the friendship. Consider a friend who always manages to get you to pay for dinner by framing it as a favor to a friend in need. Calling them out feels uncomfortable because they've subtly framed it as a friendly favor. By using fucking and setting clear boundaries, you can regain control over your script and not let anyone manipulate your life's narrative. Remember, you're the one holding the pen. Your storyline is yours to write. And while the cast may include a variety of characters, the protagonist's journey, your journey, should always be guided by your values and decisions. Reclaim your script and don't let anyone manipulate your life's narrative. As we navigate the challenges of manipulation, let's delve into our next lesson, the overconsumer. Lesson 8. The overconsumer, excess consumption, goes against the principles of Stoic philosophy, which advocates for moderation. For many, accumulating possessions does not solve their issues. It merely changes them. As Seneca put it, people who enjoy excessive eating and consumption are always seeking pleasure, often to their detriment. Imagine someone like Jack, who frequently indulges in extravagant shopping, attends lavish parties regularly, and dines at upscale restaurants often. Jack constantly seeks pleasure and happiness through excess consumption, leading to a lack of self-control in managing his finances, time, and energy. Stoic philosophy emphasizes balance, moderation, and a focus on spiritual values rather than material ones. True contentment comes from understanding our limitations and living a life based on ethics and self-control. Excess consumption, whether of material possessions or extravagant experiences, can disrupt this balance. In Jack's case, he can learn to focus on spiritual joys, control his greed, and practice moderation in his consumption. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true contentment does not come from excess, but from balance. It is about engaging with the world mindfully, cherishing joys, and limiting excess consumption. Moderation and self-control are keys to a stable and virtuous state of mind. By cultivating balance in our lives, we can experience true contentment and avoid the pitfalls of excessive consumption. Stoicism reminds us that happiness is found in moderation and the pursuit of spiritual values rather than material indulgence. With a focus on moderation, let's transition to our next lesson, the gossip. How engaging with gossip can impact our Stoic journey. Lesson 9. The gossip. In today's modern world, with the ease and speed of communication, gossip has become prevalent. Individuals who spread stories with little regard for truth or the negative impact they may have are akin to sowing seeds of mistrust and misunderstanding in your life. Stoicism emphasizes not wasting time arguing about what a good person should be, but rather being one. Gossip is a form of communication where unverified information and stories are shared. It often lacks morality and truth, and associating with those who engage in gossip can lead to a disruption of trust and understanding. Stoicism encourages us to be cautious of those who do not uphold moral values and truth. Consider a scenario where you've completed a challenging and important project at work. However, rumors about your work and character start circulating within the company due to a colleague engaging in gossip. The spread of inaccurate and disrespectful information creates a tense environment and fosters misunderstandings. In such situations, Stoicism teaches us to maintain our integrity and not let gossip tarnish our character or morality. By continuing to work with virtue and producing high-quality work, we let our truth and values shine brighter than uncertain rumors. Stoicism reminds us that true contentment comes from understanding our duties and living a life based on ethics. By recognizing the prevalence and impact of gossip, we can choose to distance ourselves from those who engage in spreading unverified information. Stoicism guides us to value morality, truth, and virtuous living, steering clear of behaviors that may disrupt our Stoic journey. As we navigate the challenges posed by gossip, let's move forward to our final lesson: the Lord of Pessimism and how maintaining a balanced mindset is crucial in Stoic philosophy. Lesson 10. The Lord of Pessimism. Some people may argue that a gloomy sky has its own beauty, but pessimists only see the promise of rain. Their minds are like dark rooms with no windows for light to enter. Pessimists focus exclusively on negative aspects and are blinded to the opportunities that challenges often bring. In Stoicism, optimism, or at least a balanced mindset, is considered important. Imagine having someone in your life who constantly wears the cloak of negativity. Their minds are attuned to dark perspectives, and they focus solely on the negative aspects of any situation. Stoicism, however, emphasizes the power of perspective and rejects a sense of injury. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. Stoicism teaches us to focus on how we evaluate external events rather than being consumed by them. It's not the challenges, but our responses to them that cause disruption. Consider a scenario where external circumstances are challenging. A pessimist would only see the difficulties, while a Stoic individual would evaluate the situation, understanding that their response determines the outcome. By rejecting a sense of injury, we gain control over our reactions and maintain a balanced mindset. In Stoicism, the power of perspective is a key principle. By avoiding individuals who constantly embrace pessimism, we protect our mental peace and focus on what truly matters. Stoicism encourages us to navigate life's challenges with resilience, wisdom, and a balanced perspective. As we conclude our exploration of individuals to avoid in your Stoic journey, remember that your social relationships shape your path. By recognizing and avoiding the complainer, the drama magnet, the unfavorable person, the toxic positivist, the victim, the time vampire, the manipulator, the overconsumer, the gossip, and the Lord of Pessimism, you can protect your mental peace and navigate your Stoic journey. Virtue. Their minds are like dark rooms with no windows for light to enter. Pessimists focus exclusively on negative aspects and are blinded to the opportunities that challenges often bring. In Stoicism, optimism, or at least a balanced mindset, is considered important. Imagine having someone in your life who constantly wears the cloak of negativity. Their minds are attuned to dark perspectives, and they focus solely on the negative aspects of any situation. Stoicism, however, emphasizes the power of perspective and rejects a sense of injury. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. Stoicism teaches us to focus on how we evaluate external events rather than being consumed by them. It's not the challenges, but our responses to them that cause disruption. Consider a scenario where external circumstances are challenging. A pessimist would only see the difficulties, while a stoic individual would evaluate the situation, understanding that their response determines the outcome. By rejecting a sense of injury, we gain control over our reactions and maintain a balanced mindset. In Stoicism, the power of perspective is a key principle. By avoiding individuals who constantly embrace pessimism, we protect our mental peace and focus on what truly matters. Stoicism encourages us to navigate life's challenges with resilience, wisdom, and a balanced perspective. As we conclude our exploration of individuals to avoiding your Stoic journey, remember that your social relationships shape your path. By recognizing and avoiding the complainer, the drama magnet, the unfavorable person, the toxic positivist, the victim, the time vampire, the manipulator, the overconsumer, the gossip, and the lord of pessimism, you can protect your mental peace and navigate your Stoic journey. Virtue. Their minds are like dark rooms with no windows for light to enter. Pessimists focus exclusively on negative aspects and are blinded to the opportunities that challenges often bring. In Stoicism, optimism, or at least a balanced mindset, is considered important. Imagine having someone in your life who constantly wears the cloak of negativity. Their minds are attuned to dark perspectives, and they focus solely on the negative aspects of any situation. Stoicism, however, emphasizes the power of perspective and rejects a sense of injury. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. Stoicism teaches us to focus on how we evaluate external events rather than being consumed by them. It's not the challenges, but our responses to them that cause disruption. Consider a scenario where external circumstances are challenging. A pessimist would only see the difficulties, while a stoic individual would evaluate the situation, understanding that their response determines the outcome. By rejecting a sense of injury, we gain control over our reactions and maintain a balanced mindset. In Stoicism, the power of perspective is a key principle. By avoiding individuals who constantly embrace pessimism, we protect our mental peace and focus on what truly matters. Stoicism encourages us to navigate life's challenges with resilience, wisdom, and a balanced perspective. As we conclude our exploration of individuals to avoiding your Stoic journey, remember that your social relationships shape your path. By recognizing and avoiding the complainer, the drama magnet, the unfavorable person, the toxic positivist, the victim, the time vampire, the manipulator, the overconsumer, the gossip, and the lord of pessimism, you can protect your mental peace and navigate your Stoic journey. Our social connections play a significant role in shaping our lives and influencing our journey. The individuals we surround ourselves with can either elevate us or hinder our progress in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism encourages us to be mindful of our associations and choose relationships that align with virtue and wisdom. Stoicism teaches us the importance of guarding our mental peace diligently. The 10 types of individuals discussed represent potential disruptions to our tranquility. By being aware of these patterns and making intentional choices, we can foster an environment that supports our Stoic principles. Throughout this exploration, the underlying theme has been resilience and virtue. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, but a way of life, urging us to face challenges with resilience and adhere to virtuous principles. By avoiding detrimental relationships, we create space for personal growth and tranquility. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the intricacies of Stoic philosophy. If you found this video valuable, please like and subscribe to support our ongoing exploration. Your engagement and commitment to Stoic principles contribute to a community of individuals striving for wisdom, courage, and a life well lived. As you continue your Stoic journey, remember the words of the ancient Stoic philosophers and apply them to your daily life. May your path be guided by wisdom, virtue, and the pursuit of a life aligned with Stoic principles. Wishing you strength and tranquility on your journey ahead.